All right, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. And without further ado, happy Friday. Happy Friday. This is Joey Betts. This is the Joey Betts podcast. We're going to be cooking up a couple plays today. One on prize picks. We got a Flex Friday pick out there. We got another one on Underdog Fantasy. I've got a couple of lays that I want to show you. Already got a couple of picks under my belt that we're gonna go with by popular demand. Things that I've saw throughout the day. We've got a 70% boost right here on, or a 60% boost on the extender. So we're gonna go ahead and use that as well. The couple platforms that I use, just to be very transparent here. I love Underdog Fantasy. Me personally, I really like it because of the fact that you get profit boosts, you get discount matches, you get discounts, deposit matches, all that good stuff, right? So we're playing off a deposit match this week. We've gotten about 3, 4, 60% profit boosts. Now we're trying to get ourselves to get a slip, right? We're gonna win a slip today, get back in the win column, and then start fresh, right? Basketball is going to be very tough today. The lines are very tough out there. Baseball as well, but there's a couple baseball plays that I want to show you guys very quickly. We're going to throw them on our prize picks, and we're probably going to throw just a three-man parlay right here on Underdog as well. But first off, I've got Marcus Semien. Marcus Semien is crushing the ball against left-handers, and the fact that he does a great job, the fact that he's not at 1.5 hit run and RBI, it's not even a possibility on Prize Picks. That's a good sign of saying, okay, let's see if maybe he's on Underdog, right? So Underdog does have him at the 1.5 hits run and RBI. One thing that is not offered on Prize Picks, and that's one of the reasons why I really like Underdog rather than Prize Picks, right? So we're going 1.5 hit run and RBI. We're gonna throw it on two slips now. I don't really like doing two slips. You see how I went a half hit run and RBI for Marcus Semien. That's fine with me. Also, total bases. You go total bases as well for a better value. But at the end of the day, hits, runs, and RBI. He gets a hit, he gets walked, he scores a run, he hits a sacrifice fly, he has an RBI. So he can also go 0 for 4 with a run scored. He could go 0 for 4 with an RBI and not actually tail a hit for these total bases. So hitter fantasy score as well. That's a regular, not even a goblin. So that's one where all he needs is basically a single and an RBI and it covers, right? A single RBI is 5. That's going to be 5 hitter fantasy score. So we're going to go with hitter fantasy score just for the sake of the value of the slip. So also safe route. I'm going to give you the safe route here. Half a hit run an RBI. That's going to be your safe way out. But yeah, hitter fantasy score seems pretty stuck there, right? So Marcus Semien, the reason why I want to point this out is, like I said, Semien is on Texas. We're looking for Texas. We're looking for Texas. Texas, Detroit, right here. Game at 3:40 in about an hour. We're gonna look at this. Tariq Skubal. Looking at his bat versus pitch. He has a tough time against Adolis Garcia. 4 for 11, two doubles, 3 RBI, 364 average. Right. You've got Wyatt Langford 2 for 5 with a triple walk and 2 strikeouts, 400 average. Jock Peterson 3 for 6, a double, a 500 average. Corey Seager, which I would have loved picking Corey Seager today, but I have this thing where if people just disappoint you majorly disappoint you, just like Corey Seager has done to me plenty of times, he's on what we call a no-fly zone, right? So next man up, you got Marcus Semien. 3 for 7, a home run, an RBI, and 2 walks, right? Walks also count towards hitter fantasy score. A walk will be 2 points, 179 on the season, so it's not the best looking average, but when you point him up against left-handed pitching, he hits 258, right? We're going over. We're going to double check to make sure we're looking at every possibility here. Bat versus pitch. We're going Corey Seager. Let's double check Corey Seager. Corey Seager on the road. It's 233. Not very great, right? 133 against lefties. That's the reason why. Oh, not it's not Corey. Is it? It is Corey Seager. Yeah. I have a very big issue with getting Corey Seager and Trey Turner mixed up because both of them just seem like the same person to me. Very unreliable. So we're gonna stay away from Seager today. We're gonna go with Marcus Semien. As far as that average goes, I like the average against the pitcher as well. So even if you want to take the easy money here, let's stick with the easy money just for the sake of winning the slip, right? I've also got Mike Yastrzemski. We've got Mike Yastrzemski against Minnesota. Um, Chris Paddock has been giving up runs. 5.57 ERA, 0 for 3, 1.48 WHIP. So walks and hits per inning pitch. He's walking, and about 1.5 batters are walking or getting a hit against him. And one of the things that I saw that really caught my eye, not only will Wilmer Flores 6 for 12, a double, 2 home runs, right? You've got Mike Yastrzemski 7 for 15, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, 3 RBI, 2 walks against the guy, right? And then you look at him, he's a right-handed pitcher. He's going to be a right-handed pitcher going against the road, right? So you look at Yastrzemski, go over to Yastrzemski, take a look at his splits, and you'll see against right-handed pitcher, he's 314, batting 314, 246 on the road, which isn't, the best thing, but 6 RBIs, 15 hits, 10 runs on the road, right, against right-handed pitching. And then the bat versus pitch, like I said, it looks immaculate. Overall, he hits 298 against the pitchers that are from the Twins. So I really like Yastrzemski here. Now, leave it up to Prize Picks to have, yep, of course, not 2.5, but we're going to take hitter fantasy score here. So the hitter fantasy score, like I said, this will likely require 2 RBIs. You can also take him money right here. RBIs are money. They are very much value. They're very much value picks. But personally, RBIs are very risky as well. So I really like the hit run RBI. We'll take. I mean, honestly, I'll take it for what it is. I'll take the 1.5. I could also take the hitter fantasy score on Yastrzemski, which I'll probably do just for the sake of value. We'll go ahead and take Yastrzemski on hitter fantasy score. I showed you the stats on that one. We also got, who is it that I had? I got Manny Machado. Manny Machado, again, hits, runs, RBI is going to be at a 1.5. Also, what I like to do is with these three, I'm going to go ahead and lock in a 3-man parlay. We're going to go ahead and take Manny Machado on 1.5 hit, run, and RBI, right? 1.5 hit, run, and RBI. And then we're going to take Yastrzemski as well on 1.5 hit, run, and RBI. Now that's 5.4 times our money. Basically going to be a $20, 20 for 100. You go 15 for 81. We're going to go 10 for a 54 spot. And we're gonna go and lock that in right here. Looking at it, going into anything else, batter versus pitcher. This is your research, basically looking at matchups. This will tell you who is hit, and this is what I'm seeing too. You've got Cronenworth, 7 for 15, 3 doubles, a triple. You've got Manny Machado, 9 for 23 with 4 doubles, 4 singles, and a home run. Mike Yastrzemski right here, 7 for 15, 2 singles, 3 doubles, 2 home runs. You've also got Corey Seager, like I said, 6 for 9 off of Scooble. Now, if he was not on my said no-fly zone, then I would completely think about picking him, taking him here. You've got Cal Raleigh, who is on fire right now. 5 for 11, 2 singles, 3 home runs, 2 walks, but he has 5 strikeouts, right? So Kevin Gausman is another one where he gives up a lot of runs. Cal Raleigh, I believe he's still leading the American League in home runs. This is worth taking a look at. Looking at it right here. We don't want to go too much baseball. We're going to mix in a little bit of basketball too. But one thing I want to do is make sure that our Flex Friday slip is strictly baseball because basketball has been very tough. So looking at it, Gaussman against Raleigh, 5 for 11, 3 home runs, 3 RBI, 5 Ks though. So he strikes out, 246 average. Game log, he's gotten that average honestly from 217, from 203, 189 back in 411. So a month ago he was hitting 189. He brought it up to a 246. So like I said, averages could be deceiving, right? It could be deceiving. One hit, one run, 2 runs. You've got an 0 for 3 game. You got 2 hits, 2 hits. So the games that he starts, he's hit 4 out of 5, right? He's at the feet. You got 2 runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, 1 hit, 1 run. Honestly, I really like Cal Raleigh on the hitter fantasy score because of the fact that he is leading the league in home runs. I'm sure Kevin Gaussman knows that, and I'm sure Kevin Gaussman also knows that he can't risk any kind of issue here. Now, a 5 hitter fantasy score is ridiculously low. I'm taking this every day. Cal Raleigh is going to hit this in his sleep. I really love that Prize Picks kind of laid that one up for us because right now we're sitting at a 3-man and we have 2 times our money already. And like I said, with Manny Machado, we're only going to add to that with another 1.5 hit running RBI. And as of right now, our $20 is $80. And we really like these 4 picks. Honestly, these 4 picks are really nice. Looking at it, you don't want to add too much risk to it. You add another one, it should come out to $100, which is healthy for a Flex Friday pick, especially a protected play where all this money on your $20 is going to end up in this gift box if you don't end up hitting, right? So it's a protected play. Your money is protected. It will stay in the app, but however, you guys have basically a chance to get your money back, right? So you got Machado, Raleigh, Yastrzemski, Semien. Let's go ahead and find one more. Let's tie in one more here. I really like going pitchers as well. Bo Bichette has been doing amazing. You got Gleyber Torres against Patrick Corbin. Gleyber Torres does hit well against lefties. Let's make sure he's playing here. That's one thing about Swish Analytics. You want to make sure you double check with ESPN and make sure they're in the lineup they're playing because Swish Analytics has a way of showing you everything. Whether the person is on the DL, they'll just give you the stats basically. So looking at Corbin, we've got Gleyber Torres 4 for 11, 2 home runs, 3 RBI. So Gleyber is raking off the guy, right? Let's look at Gleyber Torres. Look at his game log. Make sure he's been starting healthy. 290 on the season. He has started the 8th, the doubleheader, the 7th, the 4th. So he's in the starting lineup. 1 hit, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 RBIs, 1 RBI, 1 RBI. He has 6 RBIs in the last 6 games. He's got 3 doubles in the last 6 games, 3 extra base hits. You got 3 hits, 8 hits, 3 runs. He's hitting 348 in the month of May, right? So this is very safe, especially with Gleyber Torres. The way he bats in the lineup, I believe he's at the top of it. Let's double check just to make sure. Let's see what the lineup is over here in Detroit. Gleyber Torres, number 2. I really love going after number 2s in the lineup. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that. That will likely be our last pick for the Flex Friday. 6.5 hitter fantasy score will get you 120. 1.5 hitter fantasy score, like I said, it'll get you $100. This is $100 off of a free protected play, basically cooked up for you in about 12 to 20 minutes, right? So this Semien pick, we're going for just a hit. He's a very good hitter. That 189 average will not stay 189 for the rest of the season. You guys saw it earlier in the season with Luis Arias. Arias is breaking the ball now, so good hitters tend to adjust, and especially against a pitcher that they do well against. I really think Tariq Skubal is not safe in this game. I can see Texas winning it, especially in the first 5. So all my game line bettors out there, first 5 Rangers looks really nice as well. So go ahead and take a look at that. But right now we're gonna go ahead and lock this in. Marcus Semien over a half hit run in RBI. You got Mike Yastrzemski 6.5 hitter fantasy score. Cal Raleigh on the 5.5 hitter fantasy score. Manny Machado with a running 1.5 hit run RBI, and then you got Gleyber Torres on 1.5 hit run RBI. Very safe, very safe. What is it? We've got 3 goblins on this slip, 3 that are expected to hit. We've got 2 hitter fantasy scores. See, Cal Raleigh already went up to a 5.5 hitter fantasy score, so that's very safe. We're gonna go ahead and lock this in before any other of our bets change, but overall, this is going to be a $20 protected play for 100. And make sure you go into your promotions, you opt in, because if not, they are not going to give you the option. So as you can see, when we started right there, it did not have this Flex Friday, so you have to opt in and then select, right? Going into it, you're going to submit the lineup, go through. We still have $15 in our bonus. Just understand that if you do lose this lineup, right, it'll go right back into your bonus picks. So it's a $20 that will be reusable if this bet loses. So looking at it, Semien, Yastrzemski, Raleigh, Machado, Gleyber. Those are the ones. We do have a 3-man right here with Machado, Semien, and Gleyber. With Semien, Machado and Yastrzemski. Sorry, my apologies. We're going to add a couple from this slip over. Gleyber Torres looks like a really good pick. Cal Raleigh also looks like a really good pick, but I'm going Gleyber. Depending on what Cal Raleigh looks like, you know what? We can end up picking both. So we're going to go both of them. We're going to end up throwing a 4-man out there. Gleyber Torres. Dallas Garcia. Dallas Garcia looks like a very good pick as well, but me personally, I can't take it in. I can't find it in myself to take him for that. We're going to go ahead. That'll be 63 off of a 4-man slip. We got Manny Machado, 1.5 hit running RBI. Mike Yastrzemski, 1.5 hit running RBI. Cal Raleigh, 1.5 hit running RBI. And then we got Gleyber, 1.5 hit running RBI. All those, you have a 60% boost. Now, I'm not too sure if that 60% boost will be strictly for basketball, but we'll go ahead and take a look here. We'll confirm it through. Bam. There it is. So, we're able to lock it in. We locked it in. Manny Machado, that's our second bet of the day. This one is a little bit safer than your flex play. A little bit more payout. 10 for 63 rather than the 20 for 100. This is 6 times your money. 6.3 times your money. You got Cal Raleigh, 1.5 hit running RBI. That's a single and an RBI. Easy. A single and an RBI for Yastrzemski. A single and an RBI for Machado, and a single and an RBI for Gleyber. Now, if they do any more than that, then it's plus money, right? We expect to see these to hit before the 7th, before later in the game. I really feel like San Diego's going to hop onto Colorado very quickly. Like I said, Detroit is not very safe in the first 5, so you know they're going to have run support as well. They're going to try to get Scooble that run support. Cal Raleigh just does too good. Mike Yastrzemski, again, like I said, he has an amazing track record against the pitcher that he's facing. So we're going to go those 4. Now, we've locked in our baseball bets. We're going to stop that. We're going to switch over to basketball. We've got some hockey out there as well. Basketball, I want to be very careful on this because of the fact that, you know, it looks very much like a Halliburton day. It looks very much like Mobley. Evan Mobley will get some rebounds, but every time we do that, either Evan Mobley gets into foul trouble, people get taken out of the game. You've got Jason Tatum, who started the first quarter with 13 points in the first game, and he doesn't end up scoring anything else after that, right? Ends up with 23 points in the full game. So, basketball has been frustrating. Very frustrating, right? But we're going to go at it. We're going to continue going at it. We're going to continue going after these slips, and that's just what it is. That's just what it's going to be. We don't run away from these picks. We go right into it, and we dive head first, right? So we're sliding head first into home for a basketball play, so it's a little sports off on the sports, but let's see. Pacers at home against the Cavs. Now the Pacers at home against the Cavs. These last two games, one thing I want to say, even though the Cavs are 0-2, Jared Allen has been doing amazing these last two games for them. You've got a 22-point game, 22 and 12 with Evan Mobley on the bench last game. This guy has to be winded, has to be, you know, you've got 12 and 5 with Evan Mobley here. Just an overall great game for Jared Allen. Now you want to question the health of Mobley and Garland and make sure these guys are coming back safe and healthy, right? Garland game time decision, everyone game time decision, right? Of course, the NBA is going to do that. Of course, they want you to think, okay, what's going on? What's going to happen? Officially listed as questionable. Was present during shoot around. So it looks like Mobley is going to play on an ankle, right? So he may not get the kind of minutes that he has. Darius Garland, he's likely to play, is expected to play. Okay, so Darius Garland, fresh feet, right? Fresh feet. We want to look at what he's done against Indy, right? What he's done against Indy versus Indy. He averages 22 points a game, right? Which Price Picks will probably have him at 22 and a half, likely, right? 7 assists, 1 rebound, right? 8 for 17 field goal percentage, 2.5 3-pointers made. That's big. 2.5 3-pointers made, right? So if you have a 1.5 3-points on Darius Garland, you're taking it, right? So that's likely. Garland will likely be, like I said, he'll likely be somewhere on that point total that 22 and a half, 23 and a half. Neesmith has gone up to 13 and a half. No Goblin, right? So that's one thing to watch out for. He has been performing these last two games. He's been a very hot commodity. He's been hitting my picks, right? As far as I've picked him, upping a point doesn't look like it make much of a difference, right? But being the fact that no one's been able to guard this guy, I would take it very slowly, especially the fact that 100,000 people have already picked this pick. I would tail lightly on that. If you can find them at a plus 12.5 on Underdog, go for that. These picks get very scary. Looking at, let's see. 60% boost each round of the NBA playoffs. Use this boost. Okay, perfect. So we're going to use this for NBA. And we're going to go Darius Garland. So, Darius Garland, 15.5 points. I'm taking that. I'm sorry. I am taking that. He averages 22. He had 21 against Miami. He's back. Fresh legs. We're going Darius Garland on 15.5 points. Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen have been really carrying the team. They are looking desperately for another source of offense. This is what's coming to them. This is what's going to come back. So go ahead and take a look at that. I also really like Siakam. I don't know what it is, but Siakam at home does much better than Siakam on the road. And Miles Bridges has just had too much attention these last couple of games. Or he's been enough to not pay attention to, right? Or to pay some attention to, right? You got 12 and 6, 17 and 8. Not much going on for Pascal Siakam. So it has to be a breakout game. Halliburton. He's doing an amazing job. We took him on assists last game, which is very, very discouraging because of the fact that he goes and he gets hurt with a hand injury, right? I understand it, I get it, but at the end of the day, he covers the points, but he can't cover the assists. So that's one thing where it doesn't look too great on his part, right? So looking at the splits, going into Pascal Siakam, how does he do against Cleveland? Looking at it, he averages 17 points, 8 rebounds. That's 25 points and rebounds. I can see him, so he is 18 and a half, 7 rebounds. I can see him with the rebounds, honestly. I can see him with points and rebounds, 25 and a half. But Pascal Siakam is not someone I'm going to be the first to go after, to be honest with you. Um, let's stay away from this one. Let's stay away from this one. It would be something to look at what Jared Allen's line is at 10.5. They're probably both at 10.5 rebounds. Taking a lower line for Jared Allen. No lower line, right? So what about Mobley? Game time decision should be coming back 9.5. Pretty high. Especially since Mobley's been shooting a little bit more. He's more of a point total guy. 16.5 points is a little low, especially because Jared Allen has been overperforming these last few days. And I expect Cleveland to come out hot. Honestly, I expect Cleveland to take this one against Indy. It would be worth taking a look at what the point total is on this game and what the over under is. Cleveland minus 4.5. I'll take the spread on that one. I'll take the spread. I'll take Cleveland minus 4.5, and then we'll go first five on the Detroit game as well, right? We can do both of those. Um, Looking at that, I really like that pick. I really like Evan Mobley and Darius Garland coming back and really making a big deal here. 13.5 points is also nice. I really like that. Right now, the 16.5 is 4.2. Let's go 13.5. Let's say he scores 14 points, which, I mean, it's pretty safe to say that he will. Let's double check. What did we say? We said Evan Mobley. Looking at the splits, how he does against Indy, he averages 19 points a game, right? 12 and a half rebounds. So he does well against Indy. Game logs, he scored 20 in the game that in the first game, 17, 19, 20, 9 in 33 minutes against the Heat. That should open eyes. 16, 21, 16, 25, 13. These are pretty safe. 13 and a half and 15 and a half for Garland. Those are pretty safe. We're going to go ahead and take those two. Going into it, OKC Denver. This is a beautiful game, which I really like. There's all kinds of plays here. There's everything going on. You've got Jokic, who just doesn't want to leave without making a bang. You've got Chet Holmgren, who really hasn't shown up this series. Looking at it, you got Russell Westbrook, who's back in OKC, or he's back in Denver playing against OKC. It has been a series. Denver winning the first game by a hair, right? Being down big and then just getting annihilated in the second game, right? So looking at it, it could go either way, but we want to see the consistency here. Where is the consistency here? Denver didn't do very great at all whatsoever. 8 rebounds, 6 assists for Jokic. That is a terrible game for him. But you've got Russell Westbrook, who had 19. Russell Westbrook's jacking him up. 1 for 4 from 3, 5 for 11, 8 for 10 from the free throw line. 8 for 10 from the free throw line. Let me repeat. 8 for 10 from the free throw line. 3 for 5 from the free throw line, right? So that's a huge difference. 18, 19 points. I like Russell Westbrook on a lower point total, an alternate point total, something that, not everyone's picking out there. 13.5 is pretty low. It is pretty manageable. You want to take that. That's 5.33 times your money already with the 60% boost. So it's going to be a $50 play on $10, right? But even if you take him at 11 points, that's still 37. You can add another pick out there, right? 11 points. Let's take this into context. His regular line, his point total line right now, is at 13.5. You take him at 14 points. Let's look at what his last few games are. 19, 18, 16, 14, 21, 3, 14, 15. Now he's only had one game this playoffs where he hasn't hit that feat. And in that game, he only played 9 minutes, right? So this is a pretty safe pick. We're going with the 13.5 points here. We got Darius Garland, 15.5. Evan Mobley on 13.5 points. Russell Westbrook on 13.5 points. And then we got one more that we want to throw in there. I've been looking at Michael Porter Jr. very closely. Now, this series doesn't really make any sense to go Michael Porter Jr. because he hasn't done very well this series, but there's just something about it where, a player needs to wake up at some point. You've got 8-8, 8-5 for Michael Porter. Doesn't do well, hasn't been doing well in the OKC series. 2 points in the first game, 25 minutes total. Maybe the Michael Porter Jr. isn't the best player, right? So I'll be very honest with you right there. Shea with 34, 11 free throws. So looking at Shea, I mean, it's going to be very tough, especially to pick one of these superstars. I would more so go role players, these people that, you don't really hear too much in the stat board, the key players, right? Shea, if you are going to go with him, the best thing to do is probably free throws, looking at how many free throws attempts and how many free throws made. 8.5 free throws made, so 9 free throws, right? Let's check out a game log. SGA game log. 11 free throws in the first one. We understand that Denver fouls and they get themselves into foul trouble very often, right? 8.5 free throws made. He's averaged 9. He averaged 7.5. That's still not one that we want to take, honestly. I don't like it. Isaiah Hartenstein. Chet Holmgren on 11 boards. Chet Holmgren boards may be the play as well. 11-6. No. Let's see. Jalen Williams. He's getting back into it. If you can find Jalen Williams on a very low point total, 2 for 9 from 3 for Luguentz Dort. Oh, 4 for 9 from 3. Terrible shooting percentage for Luguentz Dort these last couple games. So we can see, double check what his line's at. If it's at 12.5, we're going to take it. 9.5. Oh, my Lord. 10 points. He's had 12 and 14 against Denver. He hasn't hit the 10 points in Memphis. It is very tricky here. 2.5 3-pointers made. That's 3 3-pointers, right? So if he's at 3 3-pointers, he hits 3. That's 9 points, right? They're saying that he's not going to score a 2 at all whatsoever, right? 1.5 3 threes. 1.5 threes is 0.64. That doesn't do anything to our slip. Keep that out of it. Luguentz Dort also might not be the play. Jalen Williams, rebounds and assists, 7 and 4. Hartenstein, rebounds and assists. I just I don't like it. Check out the first game. This one was a very good game, honestly, and I'm hoping that, there's no blowouts today. 42 points for Jokic. Now, I don't expect him to go like that. Now, Aaron Gordon on points should be a nice one. Aaron Gordon has been, if consistency plays a part here, I feel like Aaron Gordon has been very consistent. Not consistently the best on the floor, but he has been consistently making a difference here with Denver. 26 minutes played, so he didn't really play the full go. He's got 22 points, 19, 23, 14 boards there. I like him on a point total, but not 17.5. Very much so, not 17.5. You can take him for 14.5 points. Honestly, I don't like it unless it's gonna make my slip into $75. Then I really don't want to take that play. I really don't want to touch it. Right now, we've got a pretty good thing going right now. You got 15 for like $80 off of just Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Russell Westbrook, right? So these picks right here, I'm very safe with them. I really like them. Even if you wanted to go Mobley on the 17 points, that's 121. Right now, that's getting a little overboard. Let's take him on the 13 and a half. Let's make sure we get the money, or even take Mobley out. Take Mobley out. That's 3.76. No, don't take Mobley out because that'll exit the. Basically exit the pick itself. So we're gonna go with this one right here. We're gonna go on a $10 pick for 53 on this. We got Evan Mobley, 13 and a half points. We've got Russell Westbrook, 13 and a half points. And we got Darius Garland. We got no one going over 20 points, right? Even if we want to go into the NBA, into the earlier game, and want to add a Nesmith, I don't mind adding a Nesmith at 13 and a half points is a little high. 10 and a half, you can get them for 10 and a half. It only makes your slip $8 more. But, for the gigs, that's a $92 slip, right? If you feel very safe with Nesmith getting 14 points, I mean, he's hit it in the last 5 games. He's hit it both times against Cleveland. It would be something to say that he's not going to hit it at home, right? I just feel like it's tough to pick someone and go after a line 3 days in a row, right? 3 games in a row is pretty tough. We're going to give it a shot today. I just really like the pick. I really like what Neesmith has been doing. I really like that he has been going off. Even Andrew Nemhard, who's like a little bit less trustworthy, but Neesmith 23 points, and let me show you why. In the Milwaukee series, he really grew his own, right? He grew into his own. He got 19, 14, 18, 16, 7. All right? He's hit 14 points in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in the playoffs, right? He hit 7 against Milwaukee in the first game of the playoffs. And, he averages 14 in the month of April. He averages 15 in the month of March. He averages 9.8 in the month of February, right? Attempts were down. January 6.6. So he has been coming into his own, coming back into it, being a very bigger part of the offense. So let's go Neesmith. Let's go Neesmith. Let's make it a big slip. Let's make it a power slip. 60% profit boost here. Aaron Neesmith on 14 points. Evan Mobley on 14 points. Russell Westbrook on 14 points. And Darius Garland on 16 points. We're going to run that for 92. We're going to confirm it through. So now, overall, oh no, promo no longer available. Remove that one. Let's go home. Let's refresh. So, the promo's not there, right? Right now, we've got 61. Okay? Let's check out Prize Picks just for the sake of what the picks look like, things like that. We could possibly get more money out of this on Prize Picks than we will on Underdog. But let's double check. Let's make sure the point lines are the same. Any point missing, 14 points. This is what Prize Picks loves to do. They love to do it, right? 13 and a half points. He hits 14 points on here. It's a win. He hits 14 points on here. It's a push. That's not going to win. So it's going to win you money, but it won't win you the amount that you value towards, right? Let's see what Neesmith is at. 13 and a half points. Bam. That's a regular pick, which should scare you, honestly. If Prize Picks isn't messing with it, isn't playing with the lines, and maybe they're not too worried about that hitting. All right? 16 and a half points for Mobley. Right here, he has 13 and a half. That's a lower pick, right? Doesn't have 13 and a half here. So you're going to have to take him for 12 and a half for like a lot less money, right? Right now you're sitting at a 3.75 times, which honestly it'll probably only go up to like $50 when you add in Who was it? Garland. 15 and a half. 15 and a half there. So you add in Garland, that's 10 for 70, which, I mean, it is still better than the underdog pick, 10 for 61. But Russell Westbrook is going to be a push. If he just scores 14 and that's it, that's a push right there. 13 and a half. 14, 13 and a half, 12 and a half. We're going on the lower point total for Mobley as well, which, I mean, I don't mind it, especially if we're going to get more money. So it kind of evens out the Russell Westbrook play. So right now, since we're getting more money off of Prize Picks on this one, it is beneficial to take the Prize Picks sit. Now, I'll tell you one thing. There's not many times where you're going to get more money off of Prize Picks than underdog. We'll take it because we have $15 in our bonus bets right now. We're going to look at the board. Russell Westbrook over 14 points. Aaron Nesmith on 14 points even. We got Evan Mobley over 12 and a half points, and then Darius Garland over 15 and a half. So this means Garland needs to score 16. Mobley needs to score 13. Nesmith needs to score 14, and Westbrook needs to score 15 in order to push this. Now, in order to win this. Now, if he pushes, he scores 14, we still win. I'd say it's somewhere around $80, right? So 15 for 105. We've got a few picks over there out there that range from about $90 to $100 to $105, right? Submit that lineup through. There it is. There it is. So looking at it, we've got a couple. I love Cleveland minus 4.5. Cleveland minus 4.5 is a great play. We can even go over to Fliff real quick. Check it out. Fliff is a money line. If you are in California, if you are not in California, feel free to use FanDuel. Feel free to use, the good apps out there. But in California, Fliff is pretty popular. Install it through. All right, so with Fliff, one of the things that we said first off and foremost was that Texas is going to jump on Detroit. Now this game starts at 3:40 p.m. It is 3:21 p.m. We are a little late on this, so for the most part, go ahead and run that through right now. I've got minus 4.5 on Cleveland as well. You've got the Yankees against the A's. Great series right here. Oh, let's see the game cast right here in Sacramento. Yankees A's in Sacramento. This is awesome. Osvaldo Bido at home. Bat versus pitch against the Yankees. Cody Bellinger does amazing off of him. All right, so Cody Bellinger may go off, especially in California. Cody Bellinger's in California, guys. Watch out for that one. Bat versus pitch, nothing going on but a righty against Jacob Wilson at home. That could be, a same game parlay in its own right there. Let's see. Jacob Wilson, 1.5 hit running RBI. Cody Bellinger, 1.5 hit running RBI. Look at that. That's already 2.43 times your money. Keep on going into this game. These games are amazing, honestly. If you continue looking at it, let's double check what the App Store has. Where are we at? Let's see. There we are. Okay. For the App Store, we're looking for Fliff. There we are. We're going to keep this in the dock. Continue through. Allow the location. More than welcome to have my location. Continue. There we are. Sign in. We're a Google account. And there we are. We're in Fliff with enough time to go first 5. Oh, amazing. Another 100. Oh, amazing. So right now we're going to get some cash. We're going to claim a free coin. We're going to put in, let's throw in 10 bucks. We're going to do 12. No experience points. So we're going to purchase that through. So this will put a nice little parlay into our Fliff account. We're going to go ahead and run this. Like I said, I really like first 5. Bam, let's go. So, looking at it, this may not be very big. So let's go ahead and make it bigger. Okay, like I said, this is a free pick right here. We said first 5 Detroit Tigers, or first 5 Texas Rangers. They don't have a first 5 line. So no first 5 line means that so the game lines are money line. We'll take the Rangers money line. I'll take that. I don't mind that. NBA, I'm taking Cleveland minus 5.5. Wow. Okay. I'll take them minus 6 as well. Already plus 558 on that. That Yankees A's game is going to go over 7. If it's at 7, go over it. 10.5. Okay. Don't go over 10.5. Now that's a rough line right there. Who else did we say? We said that Manny Machado was gonna have a big game. I'm big on the Padres. We add the Padres to that list, and then going into NHL, I'm huge on Dallas. I'm huge on Dallas winning today at 6:30. That's already a $200 bet. Let's see what Dallas has going on. Dallas beat Colorado, and Winnipeg is at home, right? They're at home, but at the end of the day, you got Robertson. I believe Robertson's back. If I'm not mistaken, yes he is. Yes he is, and he may have came back last game, but yep, Jason Robertson is back. Okay, Jason Robertson is back. I could see the reason. I see the reason why the Stars are not the favorite here. I see the reason why it could end up really scary. Um, $13 wins us 128 right here. So Texas Rangers money line. We're gonna go trifecta, right? We're gonna go Texas Rangers money line. You got Cleveland Cavaliers minus 5.5, and then you got the San Diego Padres winning against. You know what? No, let's go here. San Diego is gonna beat the living crap out of them. So we're gonna go San Diego on a minus 1.5, and that's gonna give us $100, more than $100, 149, right? 150 basically. So that's another bet we got right there. We put in 4 already. We got 3 MLB, NBA, 4 MLB and NBA bets out there. We got some money line bets, which I haven't done on here yet. Mostly player props, but I want to show my money line people some love. Rangers money line plus 245. They play a very good game against Tariq Skubal, so watch out for him. If you can find the first 5, take the Rangers in the first 5. That's a safer pick. Cleveland minus 5.5. If you can find Cleveland at minus 4.5, take that one as well. That's a better pick. And then Padres to win by two. To win by two, Cleveland to win by 7, and the Rangers to win overall. That's a $13 pick for 149. And then going over the picks that we've already done, we have a lot of picks out there already. Yastrzemski, 1.5 hit running RBI. Manny Machado, 1.5 hit running RBI. Cal Raleigh, 1.5 hit running RBI. And Gleyber Torres. This will be a $10 entry for 63. We've got a couple prize picks lineups out there. Russell Westbrook, 14 points. Aaron Nesmith on 14 points. Evan Mobley on 13 points. And Darius Garland on 16. That's going to be 15 for 105. And then our $20 flex play. We got 3 Goblins on here. Marcus Semien, half a hit running RBI. Mike Yastrzemski, 6.5 hitter fantasy score. You've got Cal Raleigh, 5.5 hitter fantasy score. Manny Machado, 1.5 hit running RBI. And then Gleyber Torres, 1.5 hit running RBI. And like I tell everyone, right, these picks are just something to keep your eye out on. If you went through your Friday and you looked at the picks throughout, this is just something to keep an eye on. This is just something to take a look at. I always say take a look, take a pick, and have an amazing day. And that's one thing I stand very close by is that, you take a look at these picks, do your homework, of course. But at the end of the day, if any one of these picks help you win in your lineup, that means the world to me. So, you guys, as always, take a look, take a pick.